In the early morning calm of June 24, 2025, a Russian landing craft crept steadily across the vast expanse of the Black Sea. The vessel's slow, shallow approach hugged the occupied coastline, unaware that it was sailing directly into a deadly trap. It wasn't zigzagging or executing evasive maneuvers. No urgent alarms pierced the quiet. Packed likely with troops and supplies, this craft represented a vital link in Russia's chain of control along the southern front. But beneath the deceptively peaceful waves, an unseen menace lurked. Approximately 30 kilometers offshore, a dark shape skimmed just above the water's surface. No wake disturbed the sea, no engine growled, and no sound gave away its presence. It was the Magura V5, Ukraine's now infamous unmanned surface drone. A silent hunter, armed with more than 300 kilograms of explosives, and programmed for a single purpose: strike fast, strike hard, and never return. Guided by cutting-edge infrared sensors, the Magura didn't just spot its target. It calculated its every movement in real time: range, bearing, and impact angle, all autonomously, with deadly precision. At exactly 05:13, the drone began its final approach. Then came the brutal hit. A single devastating impact tore through the side of the landing craft, rupturing its hull with terrifying force. Seconds later, a secondary explosion erupted on the rear deck, sending black smoke billowing into the morning sky. The ship buckled under the assault, burning fiercely as it began to break in two. Ukrainian Navy drones circled overhead, capturing every moment in crystal-clear footage. Within hours, the video had gone viral. Millions of eyes watching a smoking, twisted hull aflame on the water. The caption was stark and to the point: enemy landing craft destroyed near Kherson. But this strike was more than just another drone attack. It spoke volumes about a rapidly changing naval battlefield. It revealed how Ukraine now dominated vast swaths of the Black Sea without relying on conventional surface ships. It exposed the glaring vulnerabilities of Russian vessels, and it shattered the illusions of Russia's outdated naval strategies. The exact moment when the Magura first locked onto the target remains classified. What is known, however, paints a chilling picture. The drone had tracked the Russian vessel long before anyone on board even suspected danger. It was waiting, lurking beyond the visual horizon, masked by sea clutter and low radar visibility, cruising just above the waves at high speed. The Magura's design is a masterclass in stealth. Its low-profile hull and composite materials render it nearly invisible to radar. Passive sensors and satellite feedback continuously adjusted its course with precision. No active emissions betrayed its position, eliminating any chance for early warning. By the time the drone closed within 2 kilometers of its prey, it switched from stealth mode into full attack run, moving at a blistering pace of around 70 knots. That's more than 130 kilometers per hour. The Magura raced toward its target, covering the final mile in less than half a minute. Video captured by a Ukrainian aerial drone overhead tells the full story. The landing craft pushes forward, oblivious. For a split second, the Magura flickers into view before slamming into the ship's hull, triggering a violent explosion. The impact point was no accident. It struck low, slightly off-center, precisely where troop compartments are typically located. If soldiers were aboard, they never had a chance. The initial blast generated a powerful pressure wave that tore through the hull plating, while secondary explosions, likely from onboard ammunition or fuel stores, intensified the devastation. Flames quickly engulfed the deck. Life rings and debris floated in the water as the landing craft listed heavily to port and gradually lost all forward momentum. No distress signals were sent. No counterfire answered the attack. Only thick black smoke curled skyward into the dawn. Minutes later, Ukrainian operators confirmed the kill over encrypted communications. The Magura V5 itself was lost in the blast, a one-way weapon designed to deliver destruction and then disappear beneath the waves. Vice Admiral Alexei Papa, commander of the Ukrainian Navy, publicly hailed the strike with a concise statement: "We destroyed another Black Sea Fleet landing craft moving along the western shore of the Kherson region. I thank our naval sailors for a job well done. Together to victory." This was no mere tactical victory. It was a strategic signal. The attack wasn't aimed at a cruiser or a guided missile frigate, but at a landing craft. Smaller, lighter, but still crucial. These vessels are the workhorses of amphibious warfare, designed to move troops, armored vehicles, and gear rapidly from ship to shore. Normally, they rely on the protection of larger warships and defensive systems, but in this case, the landing craft was exposed and vulnerable. Unlike combat ships equipped with radar, jammers, or close-in weapon systems, this vessel had no means to detect or intercept the incoming threat. No counter-drone systems, no early warning radar, not even a proper lookout. The Magura was unstoppable. When it struck, it didn't just sink a boat, it disrupted a mission. Any troops aboard never reached their destination. Supplies and vehicles destined for the front lines now burned or rested on the seabed. And the plume of smoke rising above the waves was a stark visual message to every Russian unit in the area. A warning writ large across the horizon. The Magura V5 is far more than a weapon. It represents a revolution in naval warfare. Think of it as a waterborne cruise missile roughly the size of a small speedboat, designed to skim just above the surface with stealth shaping and a low radar signature. There's no pilot, no cockpit, only electronics, sensors, and a warhead. Once launched, it moves silently and swiftly, extremely difficult to detect or stop. With a range of up to 800 kilometers, top speeds exceeding 70 knots, and a payload of around 320 kilograms of explosives, it's a formidable weapon. Navigation uses GPS, inertial measurement units, and live video feeds, while communications run over encrypted satellite links or autonomous pre-programmed modes. Modular in design, the Magura's warhead can be swapped for different mission types. Sensors can be upgraded and software adjusted for scouting or strike missions. Some variants even deploy decoys or jammers to confuse enemy defenses. What makes the Magura especially deadly is its method of approach. It doesn't fly, so it leaves no radar cross-section in the air. It blends seamlessly with wave clutter, resembling driftwood on thermal and radar sensors until it's too close to react. Russian ships built for open-sea combat have radars sweeping high and weapons aiming higher, leaving a blind spot near sea level that the Magura exploits expertly. Moreover, Ukraine doesn't just launch one drone at a time. Tactics often involve swarms, multiple sea and air drones working in concert. One distracts, another strikes. The Magura V5 is often the deadly finisher. These drones are built in secret workshops, controlled remotely from hidden bases, and launched from a variety of locations: ports, trucks, even civilian areas. They are everything a conventional Navy fears. Unpredictable, hard to trace, and almost impossible to stop once on the move. Behind the controls of this strike was Ukraine's 385th Unmanned Surface Vehicle Brigade, a naval unit unlike any other in the world. No ships, no sailors, just a network of engineers, coders, and remote pilots operating from bunkers and command centers deep inside Ukraine. Formed quietly under the Defense Intelligence Directorate in late 2023, the brigade operated below the radar, literally and politically. But by early 2020s, their drone warfare capabilities surged. By mid-2025, they were decisive players on the Black Sea. Each strike is a symphony of coordination: satellite reconnaissance, weather forecasts, naval radar blind spot analysis, and Russian communication intercepts. Every detail is planned down to the meter. The operators come from Ukraine's growing military tech fusion scene: hackers, drone racers, and defense contractors, trading uniforms for hoodies and keyboards but wielding lethal precision. Now, every Russian vessel navigating the southern coast must ask itself, is the 385th watching? Is a Magura already on its way? Invisible, silent, and seconds from impact. This strike was more than a battlefield success. It's a strategic paradigm shift. Ukraine isn't merely damaging Russian ships, it's rewriting naval warfare in the Black Sea. Since early 2024, hundreds of unmanned drone strikes, both aerial and maritime, have targeted Russian positions in Crimea, Sevastopol, and other occupied coastal zones. The Magura V5, though not the only drone used, has become the symbol of this new dominance. Speed, stealth, and software over ships and guns. The impact is staggering. From January to May 2025 alone, Ukrainian sea drone strikes inflicted over $10 billion in confirmed damage on Russian naval assets. Among the losses, several Raptor-class patrol boats, the intelligence ship Ivan Hurs, and the Caesar Kunikov, a major landing ship blown apart off Crimea's coast. This latest destruction near Kherson sends a powerful message. No part of the Black Sea is safe for Russian vessels, not even the shallow waters they once considered secure. Beyond the physical damage lies a psychological toll. Russian forces can no longer operate predictably along the southern front. Resupply by sea is fraught with risk. That pushes Russia towards slower, more vulnerable land convoys, exposed to airstrikes and ambushes. Morale is affected. In July 2025, Russia officially scaled back its Navy Day celebrations in St. Petersburg, citing security concerns. But the reality is clear. A country doesn't cancel a major military holiday unless it fears it cannot protect its own coast. This battle is about much more than one landing craft. It's a battle to control the Black Sea itself. Ukraine's drone fleet has transformed a defensive stance into outright offensive dominance. Without a traditional navy capable of matching Russia ship for ship, Ukraine built a new kind of navy. Fast, stealthy, lethal, and vanishing before the enemy can react. Old naval doctrines, hull sizes, and firepower mean less than they used to. Russia is left asking, what do we do when the enemy doesn't need ships to sink ours? The smoking wreckage near Kherson still tells the story. Russian units nearby are surely rewriting their transport plans as you read this. Meanwhile, somewhere inside a concrete bunker, another Magura is being prepped for launch. This will not be the last strike. Ukraine's drone operators now have a proven formula and growing confidence. Plans include bigger warheads, smarter AI routing, and even drone-to-drone coordination. The ocean no longer belongs to the biggest ship. It belongs to the fastest mind. The message to Moscow is simple. You cannot guard every wave. So what's next? Should Ukraine continue chipping away at Russian logistics by targeting small support vessels, slowly bleeding the fleet? Or is it time to risk striking larger, high-value combatants? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you were calling the shots from the Drone Command Center, how would you wage this war? If you made it this far, thanks for watching. You're clearly someone who goes beyond headlines to understand the real story. If you want to support the channel and get exclusive perks like loyalty badges and priority responses, click Join on our page and get on board. Because whether it's a billion-dollar frigate or a drone the size of a kayak, there's always more happening beneath the surface.